Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening and welcome. You joined the podcast, How to Fight CPS and Stop Taking Your Children. I'm Bob Pace, I'm your host, and you just heard from Mr. Davis talk about his upcoming podcast. Trying to arrange myself so that I don't seem like I'm coming through. Maybe I need to go further back here. He has now made his podcast a weekly thing. And it's a question and answer series, and I encourage you all to listen to it. It happens every Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. And I'm going to do my podcast at 8 o'clock, so that gives you guys a chance to leave my podcast and join his podcast in half an hour later. And it's important because he has things like insights. He is an experienced dependency family juvenile attorney. He's the best. He's the one that fight for my case in CPS and fought for hundreds of others. He has over 35 years of experience fighting CPS, and he's also a trial attorney. Another thing he does lawsuits against CPS. He's one of the few attorneys that do that in the country. He's not afraid to do so. And he's won millions of dollars both in federal and state court filing lawsuits because they violated your constitutional, your civil rights, or the social worker lied, committed perjury. There's so many things that he can help you sue on. But your case must be closed. But he's the real deal. And I would talk to him further. And in fact, if you want to retain him right now, the number is 888-888-6582. That's 6582. And that's the office. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell him that I sent you. Now, you found this room, and I'm glad you did. You found me on Facebook, Fighting CPS. And there are 8 other rooms, including this room, that fight CPS in different ways. One of them is a YouTube room, but they all channel into this room. All the questions you ask are channeled into here. Now, in this room, you can do emojis, thumbs up, thumbs, happy faces, hearts. You can also send me stars. And please check the notification button if you want to be notified when I'm on. And please hit the follow button too. You can be one of my followers. It's family here. I care about all of you. I'm a loving father. Right now, I'm 75 years young, and I feel young. But I've been married for 42 years. I have 42 years of marriage, and I have 6 children. 3 are older, and 3 are younger. And it's my young ones that were attacked by CPS and stolen and trafficked into foster care. That's right. Those are harsh words to say it, but it's true in my case. The CPS people in the Orange County part of California were horrible to me and my family. My wife, my family, and even our kids suffered a lot because of them. They retaliated, they lied, they cheated, and they took lots of money. They were getting $20,000 per child for 3 of them per month. You have to understand, the Child Protection Agency is in here to make money. It's $1 trillion business. They're not there to help or be your friend, which is sad because the child protection system is what I call CPS, is supposed to help children in areas of protection in neglect and abuse. Neglect and abuse. That's what the child protection system is supposed to do. Now, each state, each county will have its own different name. Now, this is a worldwide podcast, so I have people from all over the world. I have 3 beautiful ladies from South Africa that call in all the time, and they've been in recently in there too. And I've talked to over 600 people, and every state in the U.S., including Washington, D.C., I've talked to. And I've talked to Bangladesh, New Delhi, India, and then the Middle East, and then Africa, and then Europe, then North America, South America, New Zealand, and Australia. So I have many of followers that are worldwide. Now, all I ask you is the second way you can interact with this podcast is to text me a message about a question you may have about CPS or a comment you want to make about CPS. Make sure you include your first name and also your city or county that you're calling from. Also add your state, and if you're from another country, your country and your province. That would help me. And then tell me something about your CPS case so I don't have to play ping pong ball back and forth. Now, the third way is that you're going to be a guest on my podcast. And I have right now my show producer who helps make this podcast beautiful and keeps track of everything and does very hard to do so. Her name is Grace, and I want to give many kudos, many thanks. She works really, really, really hard. And she's the one person you can write, and she'll help you. She will help you. Now, to be a guest, I can take up to 9 people on my podcast, including myself. That makes 10. All you have to do is send an email about what day and time. Now, I'm on 14 times a week, twice a day. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm on for an hour each. Now, there is some exceptions. On Saturday, I will come on earlier than 10 o'clock. I'll come on 8, not to conflict with Vincent's podcast. I've yet to get that approved, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. Then on Saturday night, the 14th, I have the final Friday night football games, the state championships, where my son's school is going for the state national championships. And it's a really important game, so I want to leave here at 4 o'clock, so I'm going to try to come on at 3 o'clock because there's a little bit of drive where the state championship is being played. Then on Sunday, I come on at 8 o'clock because I got church to go to. I like to go to church every Sunday. I do believe in God, and I have a simple faith, just based on the 10 Commandments and that Jesus Christ is the Son that sacrificed so much for us. In fact, I like to say a quick prayer right now because one of our family isn't doing too well. You may know her as Faye Manling in Richmond, Kentucky. She's been a high temp for at least a week, and she doesn't know what's wrong with her yet. But I think she may have an infection. So I want everybody to pause for a moment and say a special prayer for Faye. God bless you, Faye. I hope you get a lot better. Please, to be God, watch over Faye. Thank you. I just want everybody to know that Faye is really a good woman. She's gone through a lot. She's from Richmond, Kentucky, and she was in foster care in and out 5 times. And then what happened to her is that she decided to have children later on when she was adult life. And the 2 children they have, CPS wanted them, but they allowed her to keep her son, but she had to give up her daughter. And that was really sad and a tragedy because she didn't want to. She didn't have to. She was already taking care of a foster kid along with her son. So there's nothing wrong with her. She could have easily taken care of her daughter. But CPS is corrupt and he wanted her daughter. They had a person that wanted to adopt her daughter. And that's hard. That's hard for someone to lose a child. I lost my youngest daughter, which was the hardest thing ever. You know, you grow up and conceive these children, and then unfortunately, they're taken away from you. She was a very beautiful, beautiful person. And she had a beautiful middle name called Hanalei, which is one of my most favorite places in the world. But when it happened, is that my case started off with allegations from relatives. My wife's mother and father, her three sisters, and her brother were calling and making false accusations. I didn't know this at first. I didn't find out until much, much later. They wanted to take our children. It was hard. It was really hard. And my wife and I went through so much. We had a beautiful home. Unfortunately, in 2010, I lost my career job. And I've been working for 45 years. That's a long time. But I was determined to find a job. I was 60 at the time. But every week, social service would call me up and complain about something we weren't doing right with the kids. Not giving them a bath, not having them wear clothes, not going to school, no utilities turned on, no food. It was ridiculous things that they were allegating. None of it was true. For 5 years, it went on that too. They got a hold of the police department and had a detective find me. And then when I pick up my son, he ordered me to my home and open up my home, which I didn't have to, but I didn't know the laws about CPS. And I have my little son, my son I love so much and so dearly. You know, he was 9 at the time. It was wrong. Kids get to go through it and they don't understand. Our family was broken apart. They're supposed to do family reunification, but instead they were trying to steal our children. They were trying to steal our children. It was horrific in the social services care. They're not really good. Well, anyway, my wife's sister and her husband wanted to adopt our youngest daughter. And the social worker was on the stand testifying about how great of parents these two were. And my attorney I'd hired, Vincent Davis, asked a couple questions. The first he asked you is, how good are these parents? And she said, they're great parents. And then he decided to, he got out a folder out of his briefcase and he started reading these 30 reports. And he started to read them. And they were domestic violence issues. They were physical domestic violence issues. They were actually hitting each other. That's not the environment you're going to bring my daughter up in. So the social worker was embarrassed, left the courtroom, and she wanted to retaliate. They do. She told us parents, you're never going to see your daughter again. And what she did is she coached our daughter of how to do the following. 1, to emancipate from your parents. At age 12, a child can emancipate at age 12. And she wanted to divorce us. So she divorced her mother and father, her 3 brothers, her 2 sisters, her both sets of grandparents, her aunts and uncles and cousins. Everybody was divorced. I encouraged my sons to still keep in touch with their sister, and they still to this day. She's 22 years old. I have no idea how she's doing, but it was an awful time this Thanksgiving because she invited my 2 sons over for Thanksgiving at her foster care parents, which is really sad with her other name. And that to me was really, we didn't have Thanksgiving that day. It was hard. But I want my boys to know their sister. So I'm okay with that. But still, it was very tragic. Very, 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 very tragic. So not only the social worker tell our daughter what to do about getting emancipated. Also, to change her name completely to seal her birth certificate. Should get a new birth certificate and got a new Social Security card, which is wrong because she was double taking from Social Security. So her birth certificate was sealed, and she had a new birth certificate showing that her true parents were the foster care parents, somebody she just met for a couple months, where we for 12 months have raised her daughter. We've given her everything underneath the sun, anything she wanted, she had. Anything she wanted, she had. But she chose to go off with the foster parents and change her name. It's like all the hard work we put on as parents, we're not perfect. There were times that things didn't go well. But she had good grades all through school. They played AYSO soccer. They did Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. So that's what, she was adopted by the foster care. So that's what retaliation that they do. That was retaliation that they do. Now I have Margaret King come in tonight. Welcome, Margaret King. Welcome back to the family. It's so glad to see you, Margaret. And what do you have? Good evening. Yes. Margaret King has been on and off this podcast a lot. And she said, very tragic, to say the least. And so sorry you went through this and your children. I cannot even imagine. No, it's hard. There's so many times you cry, you're hurting the heart because CPS doesn't care. They alienate your children. They lie. They're not in there for the best interests of the children or the parents or family reunification, Margaret. I really want to help you parents don't make the same mistakes. If I knew what I knew now, I would never have my children stolen or taken into trafficking into foster care. There are 5 rules I've come up with. Margaret King, I forgot what city and state you're from. I'm bad about sometimes remembering everybody. I know it's hard. I felt as though I was dying over and over. I still do. I've been doing this for 15 years, fighting CPS. 5 years was these false reports. And then in 2015, they stole our 3 children. In 2000 and the end of 2017, we had our 3 children returned. But it was a horrific experience. Now, Margaret says, right, this will never happen again. I have learned so much from Mr. Davis's website and videos. I'm glad, Margaret. I'm glad. I try to help you all with the things that would do there. I'm from Merced County. That's right, Northern California. That's right, Merced County in Northern California. Now, to be a guest, all you have to write is to Grace at VincentWDavis.com. Just pick one of my 15 shows, my 14 shows. I'm on twice a day, Monday through Sunday. And so you just pick the morning show or the evening show. And then one of the days of the week, you can be a guest. And lastly, you can call into my show. I do have a number that you can call in right now. It's 626-698-0990. And you can talk live on the podcast. and you can talk pretty much what you want to about your case. I'll put you on speakerphone. That's my direct line, my office line, 626-698-0990. I do not answer it before the show time or after my show time. It's strictly only during my show time that I answer the phone. So you have to call during my show time, which typically is 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, and 7 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock at night, Pacific Standard Time. Now I'm on here, rain or shine, on holidays. As I say, I've been on here a lot. So let me catch up with Margaret. She said some things here. Let me find out. Now, Margaret says, I watch them all day long. I guess you watch who all day long? I don't know if you watch the CPS or what. I watch them as they come each time, not wanting to miss out on any important information, anything to save my two beautiful babies. They were kidnapped too in August. Yeah, Margaret, I'm so sorry that your children were kidnapped or, stolen by CPS. That's still a long time. It is a long time. Well, I welcome all you other people. Real quickly, my 5 rules are as the following. Rule number 1 is you always must have an attorney. And I don't mean a court appointed attorney or a public defender. I mean the real deal. Attorney that knows dependency law, family law, and juvenile law. That's the kind of attorney you need. Somebody who's fought CPS. In fact, your 2 questions when you ask and are talking to real attorneys was question 1. You ask the office or the attorney, are you a dependency, family, juvenile lawyer that has fought CPS? The answer is yes. The second question, have you ever did a civil suit against CPS? And the answer should be yes. If you know the answer to the 2 are yes, then you found the right person to battle it out. Because it takes a really gutsy battle to battle them with that lawsuit, a civil right lawsuit. Mm. You see where I left off here. Margaret said the same day my graduation, the same day my grandbabies were kidnapped, my parents were also abducted by a terrible lion family member trying to take it all of my parents and did not get involved. I think 8 apps That's a little confusing. If you can explain that, Margaret. Okay, apps. Okay, CPS. CPS did not get involved. I think CPS. And yeah, the same thing. Okay, okay. But they're your grandbabies, right, Margaret? Adult Protective Services. Yes, APS. Thank you. There is adult. There's senior abuse and adult parents that need our help too. They're being abused. Now, rule number 2 is a really important one because that's what you do with your documents. I cannot tell you how important it is to keep all your documents in one place. Get yourself an oversized notebook, 3 inches or thicker, 3 ring, and hole punch, put everything in there, but organize it. Have a subject, dividers, like 20 of them. And one of your first pages you're going to create is going to be called the incident time log. In the incident time log, you're going to put the date, the time, the location, the people that are involved in the incident. The second line is a summary of what the incident was about. The third line is the outcome. And you may not know the outcome yet, but that's basically how you're going to work with them. Let me see here. Yeah, there definitely are very corrupt systems, Margaret. They're very, very corrupt systems. Okay, I try to maintain a log, but it was very difficult, and for me, due to my broken I had to speed up my documentation. I know it's really hard. You see, after you put down, the date, the time, the location, who was involved, your second line will be a summary of what the incident was about. Then your third line is the outcome. And you keep repeating it, take some spaces and put the next instance, the next instance. All these incidents can be from social workers, police, family, friends, school teachers, even your children. It's just a way of documenting your whole case because a year from now you won't remember anything. So it's always important to do that. Yes, Margaret, I recognize the broken emotional state early on. It was a death sentence. CPS is like open heart surgery. It's very difficult to work around and to prove your case. Margaret's saying, open my email to document it. Yeah, that's one way to do it. But instant time log is an extra way of doing it because it's simple, short, and you can write it down. And it could be to anybody, policemen, social workers, even the principal, whatever the case may be, anything that is an incident with your case. And it will help you. It will help you so much. Yes, I do remember Letitia. How's she doing? How's she doing? How's Letitia doing? Now, one thing I'd like to point out, if any of you do call in my number or you're a guest on my podcast, you get a free 15-minute private Zoom meeting consultation with Mr. Davis. All you have to do is talk on my phone as a guest or be on the show as a guest and talk. And then what will happen is that um, you'll give me your name and a phone number and email, and then I'll go ahead and contact our show producer, Grace, who will set up between Mr. Davis and you to talk at that Zoom meeting. Okay. Margaret says, I'm so happy she called me tonight. I'm so glad she did too. Asking Mr. Davis' office number. She is calling him in the morning. Good. They should contact Letitia and set up a private consultation because she did talk on the show. She did talk on the show. But I'm glad that she's going to call in the morning. That is great. That's great. There's so many of you that come and go, but I like the ones that come back and tell me how their case is going. I have KK Richardson in Brooklyn, New York, that does a podcast, and she's got CPS on the ropes, and she's trying to get her kids back. She's been doing it a long time. A long time. And thank you for the thumbs up, Judith Vega. Thank you for that. I appreciate the thumbs up. I understand you're nervous. Margaret she says I'm nervous as we get closer to my readiness hearing. Now, is there a question you need to answer or something we can help you out with, Margaret, so you don't feel so nervous? Readiness hearing and trial. Yeah. Boy, that's going to be a tough one there. Now we're about 15 minutes to my show will be over. You know, it's 7:42 at night now, Pacific Standard Time, and I'm done at 8 o'clock. So is there any other Pacific questions? Any listeners out there? Please speak up, you know. Okay, Margaret has a question. I just want to know if I'm submitting everything Mr. Davis needs from me. Whatever Mr. Davis needs from you, he'll help you, Margaret. He'll help you, okay? You just make that list and get it to him. Whatever he needs. He'll be good for your case. He'll get your kids back. I know he will. Now, Margaret further says, Letitia says hello. She apologized for not coming. feeling under the weather today. That's fine, Letitia. Don't worry about it. My prayers go out to you. My heart goes out to you. Now, Margaret says, for not coming on your show tonight. Yeah, that's all right. Tell Alicia there are plenty of shows. I'm on twice a day. She come on tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. So there's plenty of shows that she can come on. Okay, Margaret further says she is expecting another child next month. Uh-oh. If she has another baby, CPS will take it. You're not supposed to have children while you have a case that's open. If she has another baby, they'll take it. She should make sure she has some family members the baby can stay with, some family members she can trust. Because if CPS finds out that she's having a baby, they will take her baby. You're not supposed to have any children while you're under their case. You're not supposed to have any. Margaret says, exactly. Yeah, I know you're probably terrified for her. You know, they are very cruel. They're very, very, very cruel. They find out that she's pregnant or having a child, they'll come to the hospital and try to take the child. She's got to have a warrant out there, but they're going to try to take out the baby because you're not supposed to have any more children while you're in CPS's care. I know that's kind of hard to do. I know that. Yeah, the other two kids are in adopted foster care. She has a third child. That third child will be in foster care. You're not supposed to have any children if you have an open case with foster care. Let's see what we got here. Adoption only, foster home. Yeah, that's terrible. The children will be abused in foster care. They do move in very fast. They'll try to terminate her parental rights or education rights. She needs to appeal if that happens. You only have 15 days in California, so she'll need to appeal that case really quick. Well, I'm glad they're not adopted yet. She's got to stop that. She should be concentrating on family reunification. What kind of parent classes she need to take? What kind of programs does she need to take? She needs to do that right there to have a family reunification. Okay, we're like see right now it's 7:50. I got 10 minutes left. My podcast. I appreciate. Now we have Caitlin Melody. Welcome, Caitlin. I think you're fairly new. Also, we have God's Last King. Okay. Let's see what you had to say. God's Last King. I was hoping a name like can a dependency contract be signed under duress by influence of a public attorney working with the petitioner? First of all, you never sign anything under duress. And if you do, you label it, I'm signing this under duress. I don't agree with it. And parental rights could turn it because of unconscionable legal contract. You have to be careful because they'll do things. They'll lie and cheat their way through there. You got to be really careful. King, I don't know where you're from, King. If you can tell me what city or state you're in, that would be great. Now, Margaret, who's from Merced, California, says, what are you telling me now? You said they're telling her all kinds of promises, things I asked to not trust everything they're telling her. I send her to Mr. Davis videos every day, ensuring more and more about this corruption. Rule number 3 is you do not talk to social workers. You do not, talk to the police either. Now, this person is Carolyn Melody. Welcome, Carolyn Melody. She says she lives in North Carolina and CPS was called on me by my in-laws. Those are the second way of how cases are called, and they're probably not very good call-ins at your in-laws. CPS cleared me, but my mother-in-law is refusing to give my baby back, and she had her since October. Now I have to pay a lawyer because CPS didn't tell her to bring her home. That's hard when family members get involved with the CPS case there, Carolyn. I feel for you there. Carolyn's from North Carolina. Also, CPS didn't take my baby, and yes, sir, I'm new. Okay. All right. Well, good thing they didn't take your baby. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I talked about rule number 1 about getting an attorney. Rule number 2 is to keep track of all your paperwork and notebook it and have it all together so it's organized. And then 3 is to you see, number 3, yeah, is to say no to social workers and no to the policeman. Don't allow them in your home. Don't even answer the door. Don't even answer the door. Because they're not your friend. They weren't my friend. They were not our friend either. Thank you for sharing that, Caitlin, there. I don't know what city or state you're in, but that'd be great if you could tell me. That'd be really cool. Okay. Carolyn says, okay, I've already read your message there, Carolyn. Okay. Another thing you got to watch out for in rule number 3 is medical trafficking. That's where you take your child in for urgent care, or you go to the hospital, have a baby, and in walks CPS to take your child or baby away. They can't do that. They have to have a warrant. They cannot do that. I know it's hard out there to stand up to these people. I know it's hard. Now, rule number 4 is that you need to spend some time on the internet and research your case. It's important you know how to phrase your question. You start off with the city and state. If the city is a small state, you may have to use a bigger state. So your current city and a big state and then the state. Then you type in the letters CPS and you'd be surprised what pops up. Also, you'd be very specific. After CPS, you can write something like the corruption that maybe have gone to the agency where they no longer help you. They all want to trick you. They're not nice to you either. They're not nice to you at all. So when you research and spend a good 60 hours because you need to know everything is about CPS because you can't enter them. Now I have about 2 minutes left of my podcast, and I should be wrapping it up now. It's almost 8 o'clock. I want to thank Caitlin Melody for coming in. She is new, and she's from North Carolina. Thank you. Margaret is from Northern California, Merced County, and welcome. And I appreciate everything you said there. Last King, I have no idea where you're from, but I hope you will come back and talk some more. Let me see who else we forgot here. Have Margaret. Margaret did a lot of talking tonight. I so appreciated what she had to say. So I want to thank you all for listening and taking notes. I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Please listen to my attorney, Vincent Davis. He will follow me after I sign off with it is my pleasure, and I'm always here for you. I care about you. And I'm going to tell you good night. Keep fighting for your kids. Do not give up. And this is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.